Good afternoon, Lake Norman and beyond. Welcome to this week's Know the Scene. I'm your host, Justin Dionne, coming at you live from the WSIC station here in Cornelius, the studio, Cornelius Studio. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. It's Tuesday, so we're still getting started. Still time to turn it around in case your Monday was sour. Still time to keep making it great if your Monday was great. So we're going to help you with that today. Either one of those, I think, are going to help you with that today here on today's Know the Scene. So excited to have you all here. This week we got a special show. We got a special guest. But before we jump to our guest this week, just a couple updates about things that are going on, right? We've got busy things and events and everything going on here around the Lake Norman region. Hope you're listening to that community calendar that WSIC puts out. You can also check it out online and make sure you're seeing all the different events that are going on. We had a great weekend last weekend. I know, especially in Cornelius, we had a second Friday that was very busy downtown. And then we had a sold-out comedian, Jeff Allen, performed at the Cain Center on Friday night. Did great. And then we had the Charlotte Symphony perform Saturday afternoon. Great performance and show there. Cain Center has a weekend off this weekend as far as no performances, so my team is excited for that. Bill, you got any big plans this weekend?
No, I'm not doing too much.
No? Okay, good. Yeah, me neither.
Renfest.
Yeah, that's right. Renaissance Festival's going on right now. Big one. North Carolina's Renaissance Festival is one of the largest.
I'm going to dress like a wizard.
You would be a wizard. You would. Bill, and North Carolina's Renaissance Festival, by the way, if anyone here isn't familiar and hasn't been, you've got to go. I think it's the biggest one in the whole U.S. I mean, it really is. It's large, and it's a great time. You should definitely check it out. It runs all the way through the end of November or like mid-November, so you've got time if you haven't gone yet. But then, so after this weekend, taking off at Cain Center, which doesn't mean there's not anything going on. By the way, there's still lots going on this weekend here in Lake Norman region, right? Lots of stuff. Check out our downtown Cornelius folks down there, like Old Town Public House and Thig. See what's going on there. Go to Davidson. Check out what's going on at Summit Coffee, some of those spots. And then, of course, keep an eye out on all our local breweries that do a great job of putting on events. Hit up a pumpkin patch or something like that. It's fall. It's fall time. And it's going to be great weather. This is the first time we've had an actual fall in years, I feel like, in this time of the year. So we're excited. But after this weekend... next weekend, we have a performance by a magician named Eric Jones who's coming to the center. We're going to have him on the show next week. But today, we're going to talk with the gentleman who is bringing the first ever gospel choir to Cain Center for the Arts. Trey McLaughlin is coming to Cain Center in 2 weekends, everybody. November 4th and 5th. He will be at the Cain Center. We're going to talk to Trey today. Trey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. I cannot complain.
Yeah, you said it had been a long day of singing already. What you been getting ready? Or getting ready for the tour?
No, I teach at the local college here, so some things to do at the school, and then I had a funeral right before this, so always working.
Yes, sir. What so help us, where is here? Where is here for you?
So I'm located in Augusta, Georgia, born and raised pretty much my whole life. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So Trey McLaughlin himself is a fantastic and established performer and musician and talent, but he's also got his Sounds of Zamar that are coming with him to Cain Center and going on you guys have a route. I mean, y'all have a string of how big is your overall tour again that you're doing this fall?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of cities. They all seem to run together after a while. We're so used to doing it. But
Sure.
we start off in Mexico. We end up coming back here, and then we go South Carolina, North Carolina, and then to Virginia. Then in February, we're in Canada. And I'm in Detroit, Flint, Colorado. It's so many places.
Yeah. You're going to Harrisonburg in November as well, Virginia.
Yes.
And that on that string, that'll be nice. One of our musicians a couple weeks ago is from Harrisonburg, the Steel Wheels.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, awesome. Well, Trey, so tell us, man, we'd love for you to just take a minute and tell us all about like yourself and your story.
Yeah, definitely. Born and raised here in Augusta, Georgia. I've been singing since I was about 4. Um, and it kind of went from there. I ended up going to a performing arts magnet school and majoring in voice, and then going on to college at the Columbus State University and majoring in vocal performance with emphasis in vocal pedagogy.
Oh,
I thought I was going to be an opera singer.
oh, that's cool.
That's what I thought. But I
What?
kind of got into it and didn't like it as much. So
Okay. What was it? If you don't mind me asking, so what what was it that was different about like what changed that for you? I mean, I guess you probably still have a passion for opera,
oh,
of
definitely,
course,
yeah, I'm
right?
still teaching.
But
Um,
just didn't want to chase that side of things. What changed?
no, opera careers are very strict vocally, just because of what is required. I can't go out and scream musical theater for an hour and a half or 2 and then expect to be pristine the next day to sing Puccini. It
Right.
doesn't work that way. So I think it was the amount of care that it took to do it. That was one thing. And I didn't want to not be able to sing the other styles of music that I love as much as I want. Not to say that you can't if you're an opera singer, but not as much as I want. And still be able to have a lucrative opera career. I love opera, but I realized that it wasn't for me. That wasn't my thing for a career.
Okay. What's your range, your vocal range that you like to sing in?
I actually would be considered a baritone. My tone is very bright, so people usually think that I'm a tenor because I can get pretty high.
I
But
kind of would have just guessed right now like a tenor.
yeah, but it's not about what you can sing, it's about where you can live. And I
Interesting.
definitely could not sing a tenor role
Sure.
like where I'm singing that for like 3 hours in a show. That wouldn't work. So
Because real
yeah, I
tenor is
was a
getting
classical
way up
baritone.
there. Like,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
way way up
way.
there. I'm not that guy, but I can fake it.
Yeah, I can. I'm thinking for a little bit, but not 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week.
Can't do it. We got to come down.
I like that. I like that. Well, that's awesome, man. So we got just a few minutes. I got what, Bill? We got like a minute. You said before break. All right, I'm trying to. Sometimes I do this thing where like if I'm not careful, I'll ask you the wrong question with like a minute to answer. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for when we come back after break. But again, everyone, Trey McLaughlin and the Sounds of Zamar are coming to Cain Center for the Arts in 2 weekends. First weekend of November, there two performances, a Saturday night and then a Sunday afternoon, like a Sunday revival was kind of my. When we talked about Sunday afternoon, I was like, let's do it like late afternoon, like kind of like revival style, you know. Um,
Yes.
so I'm excited to have them. We're gonna talk more with Trey after this break, everybody. I want to hear all about what got you inspired to sing, man, like how Zamar came about, the Zamar experience, like how did that come about, and what audiences can expect when they come to Cain Center. So y'all stick with us. We're gonna come back right after the break. It's Know the Scene.
More Know the Scene
Cool.
with Cain Center.
Thanks, Trey. Sorry, I just didn't want to. I was like,
You're
I was
good.
with you, and I was so almost asked you a question, and I was like, and Bill looked at me and he gave me the sign. And I was like, all right, don't do that to Trey. Like, don't set him up like that.
Bill prepared me very well for this interview, so
Yeah,
I'm
Bill's the
aware
man.
of
Thank
where
you,
the breaks
Trey.
come.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will curtail my responses. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, man, you're going all over Carolina, bro. Greenville, Asheville, Raleigh, all
Yeah,
over.
very excited.
Clemson, South
Super
Carolina, Newberry. You can do a Newberry Opera House down there.
excited.
Yeah.
It's my first time in Newberry, actually.
Yeah, I haven't been, but I know we get routed a lot with them. Like we're starting to
Mhm.
become a routing partner for them, which I'm cool with. That helps us be able to get because
Yeah.
we're small, man. I don't know if I don't know how much you know. We're only 400 seats, so it's
Yeah, I know.
super intimate.
We like those though.
Oh,
I
nice.
think that's a a dope number. So
Cool.
that'll be good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. I mean, it's a great space. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Like it's a beautiful space. It sounds good. I mean, we just
Yeah.
opened up in January, so we're
So awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna promote like crazy. I have lots of friends in Charlotte, but it seems like they're all waiting till the last minute.
I know.
So
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sweating. I'm like, I
I'll
hope
sweat. It's
we
gonna
got we
be
got
good.
we got to sell some tickets, man.
We also have a high walk-up rate too. So
Okay,
I'll definitely push it. I'm gonna hit up some friends at churches there too
awesome.
to
Yeah.
let them know, because they complain that we never come there.
And
So
it's like, well, here. That's when I remember when
we're
Sarah
here.
and I talked about
Get
it. She
these
was like,
tickets.
yeah, she's like, they've been wanting to play Charlotte Market and just haven't had the opportunity. And I was like, well, let's do it,
Yeah.
And we got some ads. We're gonna I mean, we advertise on this station too, but we specifically put some stuff out on the Charlotte Gospel station
Yeah.
too, just to hit that up too. So hopefully that'll
Yeah,
help
we're gonna do some promos
drive.
this week. We'll do some promos for
Yeah,
you guys.
it'll be
And
good.
I'll probably do something YouTube wise and Instagram. So that's where my largest following is.
Right? That's how it
there.
is now,
So,
man.
yeah.
That's how we're doing that. We're getting surveys for folks after shows, asking them how they're hearing about things, and majority is social media.
Hmm.
So and community calendars, Bill. Believe it or not, like these are like calendars. I guess event calendars is what it says. So like,
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, I guess we'll start doing more of those.
About 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right. When we come back, I want to start back at the beginning a little bit. Trey, ask you a little bit about like what inspired you,
Okay.
like to kind of get going, and then we'll keep going from there because I want to unpack some of your like history of like education and your magnet school. Sorry, not mag. It was a magnet. No,
Yeah, it was magnet school.
magnet school. Yeah.
10 seconds.
Cool.
It's
All right.
Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Here we come. Know the Scene is back. Everybody, it's Tuesday. Having some chats here Tuesday afternoon. Getting ready for the rest of the week. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you all enjoyed last week, by the way, our conversation that we had with Charlotte Symphony conductor Christopher James Lees. He was fantastic. He's awesome. So but we're here today with Trey McLaughlin. He's going to be performing again. We talked about it before the break. Performing at Cain Center with the Sounds of Zamar. His group there as well. He and his group. But before the break, he kind of gave us a quick background of himself. But I wanted to unpack that a little bit, Trey, and see. Tell me what was it? Because one of the things I like to really focus on when we get awesome musicians like you on the show is, I love to have people hear like what was that? What's your story, man? I mean, like as far as like what was your why, right? What was that moment for you that just clicked when it came to I want to be before even what you're doing now, I want to be an opera singer, or like what was it?
Well, I definitely always wanted to be a singer. Really, once I found out when I was 4 that I could be a singer, like that could be my job, I never wanted to do anything else. So I've always wanted to sing. I think my mom has always done a good job of putting me in position to be exposed to music and different types and styles of music just because of her personal likes, a lot of musical theater and all that kind of stuff. Those old musical movies, we'd watch those and listen to a lot of different things on the radio. So that was always dope. Growing up around musicians at my local church and also at the college where my mom worked was a big influence on me to want to pursue music. And then when I got to high school is when I started with classical music and I could make the sounds. So my teachers pushed me to pursue a career in opera
That's wonderful.
because of course, if you can make the sounds, they're like, listen, you could be somebody great. And then when I got to college, my teachers kind of continued to push me in the direction of opera. Honestly, my voice teacher told me to quit the gospel choir, but what he didn't
Huh.
know
Oh.
is at the time I was directing the gospel choir.
What? Wait. So wait, was that like on the DL, like with because like you're not supposed to be quote unquote doing that on the side, right? Like side hustle.
Right.
And didn't
You're
we all
not,
have those?
especially not classical. Yes. So
Any of us that went to school for the arts, like all our professors told us you only do this, but we all had a little side hustle. Like we all did.
all had a side hustle.
That's right.
So I ended up taking over the gospel choir the end of my freshman year, going into my sophomore year.
Now, what school is this?
At Columbus State University.
Okay.
It's in Columbus, Georgia, and the name of the music school is the Shobe School. It's actually a conservatory now.
Wow.
They have a separate music campus, and it was kind of a world-renowned opera school, which is why I wanted to go there.
Oh, wow.
And my teacher is well-known in the opera community. Dean Earl Coleman was everything. But in any case, he was also very hard on me about being in the gospel choir my freshman year. So my sophomore year, I want to say, I came into a voice lesson like vocally tired, and well, what he said was vocally tired. But again, you know, your voice teachers can hear even the littlest change. And he told me, he said, "I told you to quit that gospel choir." And I'm thinking, I can't quit the gospel choir because I direct it now. I'm not just in it.
So the reason that they're asking you to not do anything else is because the thought that, you know, you should like use your voice as little as possible. So like you're on vocal rest except for when you're not performing. I mean, except for when you're performing.
The thought process is that you need to be preserving your voice for your lessons and for your repertoire so that you can perform well. So even with choir stuff, you know, we're all as vocal majors required to be in choir, but they didn't want us to do too much in choir because they don't want you to be vocally tired. And also, once again, singing opera music, especially the type of repertoire he had me and some of my other colleagues who were kind of near the top at the school, singing is strenuous, and you want to make sure that you're in the best vocal health possible to be able to do it and do it safely. So it came from a good place.
Right, of course. I mean, your teachers aren't going to lead you down. Yeah.
Right. He wasn't being a hater. He really just wanted me to be at my best. But I do feel like God had other plans for me in that, because even after I graduated, I just knew I was going to be an opera singer, and I kind of got into it and was like, I enjoy this, but I also don't want to not sing at church because I have to sing the Messiah on Thursday, you know? So it was, all of that was a big conflict for me, but God made it work so that I could do both in a way. I still get to teach classical singers. I still get to do all county and all state choirs, all district honor choirs as a clinician, which is more on the classical side. And then I get to teach grad courses to classical students who want to know more about rote teaching and gospel music. So it's been a great use of my educational journey in my career.
Wow. So right now, so you're teaching right now, and what's the college or university you're teaching at right now?
Right now, I'm teaching at Paine College, which is HBCU here in Augusta, Georgia, and actually where I kind of got my start in being exposed to gospel choir music. Because my mom was the staff advisor for the gospel choir growing up, which is kind of how I ended up being in rehearsals and singing parts, other than church. I mean, of course, at church, but that was a higher level of exposure. And then I've taught grad courses at a college in Washington State, which is escaping me right now, just because. So Angela Casper is a good friend of mine. I on the pandemic, and I'll actually be back there in February. I've also taught at University of St. Thomas, which is a grad course where grad students would come to me and stay with me for a week, from like early in the morning until in the evening. They have my class all day for a week, and we talk about the impact of gospel music on music in America. I've got to do workshops at Harvard, Florida State University, and a few other schools. Oh, say that again?
That's where I went to grad school. Go Knowles. Florida State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, I went to graduate school down at Florida State.
I love it. That's a big grad school. A lot of my colleagues and classmates wanted to go to Florida State for grad school, but I used to beat them at Nats. I don't know when you were there, but I used to kick their butt at Nats, the regional competition.
Oh yeah, no,
I
no,
remember they were
I was in the theater department
oh,
graduate,
okay.
the School of Fine Arts graduate school there with the theater program. Um,
Yeah, they were big competition for us. Them and Stetson were big competition
where's
for
Stetson?
us. Stetson's also in Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure where, but they're also in Florida. I think it may be a private school, but
No, are these like
they
gospel competitions?
no, this was NATS. It's a National Association of Teachers of Singing. It's classical music competition.
Oh,
They did have a musical theater edition, like a part of it, but it was mostly people singing arias and stuff. And
wow.
Florida State was a huge competition for us. But y'all also had a really good musical theater program too.
Yeah, all they do. Yeah, their undergraduate program in musical theater is really sharp.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
heard a lot about them when I was getting ready to go,
yeah, it was
but I didn't
wild.
want to go all the way to Florida.
Yeah, it was the undergrads there, the undergrad musical theater program there is super like competitive and
Yeah.
very yeah to get into. I was thank God I was there for graduate school because I would not have gotten in probably to the undergraduate program. And I was there for theater management, so
Oh, dope.
even better. Not that it wasn't competitive, just not as cutthroat as those
I
performers get,
understand.
man. You know how performers get.
Yes. Yes, I do.
So you always so you grew up singing gospel like just in general, like right? Like just in church growing up.
hmm
Just a
Gospel,
part of
R&B, alternative rock,
oh,
all of those things. Because my mom used to listen to some of those, so I kind of heard a little bit of everything. And of course, we listen to R&B music, and of course, we listen to a lot of gospel.
sure.
But I got exposure to a lot of different things just because of what my mom liked. Because
That
she's kind of artsy too.
that's awesome. What now she's a teacher you said.
No, she works at the college. She was the assistant registrar,
Oh,
but she
I'm
still is.
sorry. I thought I heard worked at the college and I thought teacher. And with you being a teacher, I thought maybe like that was like kind of tie in. But that's awesome. Hey, registrars are super important.
Yes.
They make sure you get it done. Is
Yeah,
it,
and she's been working there for over 40 years, and
wow.
I'm not 40 yet. So
Congrats,
I've
mom.
literally grown up in that school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So Bill, we're close to another break, right? Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna go to break again, everybody. We will be back here shortly after the break with more Trey to talk more about Sounds of Zamar and his experience and what's coming to the Cain Center. Be right back after the break. Know the scene.
More Know the Scene.
Happens when I break too early? Bill, is that what happens when I break too early? Oh wow. Okay, sorry about that. I thought it would just go. All right, good to know. Sorry, I broke a little early trying to give us some extra breathing room, Trey, and then we had to have that outro music for way too long. Sorry. All right, learn my lesson on that.
Could be worse.
Sorry, Bill. I will never do that again.
No, I'd rather that than cut anyone off or someone get hard broken on over the radio. So we're
No,
all good.
all good.
We're all good.
Sorry,
We're all
I'm sorry
good.
about that, Bill.
We're all
I'm
good.
sorry. I've learned.
It's all good.
We all have to learn these things.
I'll get you some liners.
Yeah, we all have to learn these things. So I will never do that again. Yeah, I just started doing this show, Trey, like what, in August? I think we're on episode like
Yeah, July
9 or 10 now, maybe.
Yeah,
or
yeah. We might be at like
Yeah.
12. So
we might be at episode 12 now. So I'm still still learning some of this stuff. So I appreciate your patience with me.
Yeah, no problem.
You're doing great.
No problem at all.
What you got going on tonight, Trey?
Tonight is rehearsal night for my teen choral group, so we're getting ready for our big Christmas show, and I kind of got to get them prepared before I leave next week to go to Mexico. So,
Gosh, yeah, and then you got to dip out and like.
Yeah.
So does the school
then,
okay with you like dipping out when you do, you know, I mean, when you have tours and stuff?
Yeah, because honestly, the responsibility at Pain is not that large. So I'm honestly really just the director of choral activities. And I was teaching a music appreciation class. I don't have to do that as much anymore unless I'm filling in for the other professor. But I wrote the entire curriculum for that class. But Pain doesn't have a music major, so music falls under humanities, which means they're just rebuilding the choir at this point. So I only have about 10 students in that choir, and it doesn't require much at this point because it's still preliminary. And I have enough musical friends to cover my rehearsals for me.
Oh, that's good.
About 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, that's just some good stuff. Continue to talk about. We're coming back in about 20 seconds now, so we'll come back on. I want to talk more about Zamar and the now kind of Zamar and how you built Zamar and how that all kind of came about. All right. Come back.
On the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Know the Scene. Still talking with Mr. Trey and the sounds of Zamar coming to Cain Center in a few weeks. So Trey, I want to continue what we've been talking about, man. So you were already out of school when you said you were working to be an opera. You were heading to be an opera singer, and then you just decided that was just gonna if I'm saying it correctly, it was gonna restrict kind of too much of the other music that you loved, right? Like you just have love for so many different kinds of music that the hyper focus of being an opera singer was gonna kind of force you to not be able to perform the other kinds of music that you like singing and doing.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
what do you do? Like, what did you do when you had that realization?
So it kind of happened through experience. I was doing some classical things, and then I started to get invitations to do other things. Come lead praise and worship at a church, or to be a soloist here or there. And that was when I kind of realized that I enjoy doing that more than opera. And it came more naturally to me because of how I grew up. And the way the group came about was I would start asking them to come with me to sing when I would get these invitations, because believe it or not, I'm actually kind of shy. I can turn it on and off. I'm a showman,
Sure.
but I show up much better when I'm in the company of people I love and trust.
Sure.
And I was asking my friends to come sing background for me, and they would start to sing my arrangements, because I've always rearranged other people's music since I was a child. I've always done that. And so they would sing my arrangements, and we get invitations to go places, and they would say, "Ooh, can y'all sing that arrangement of Chasing?" Or "Can you sing your arrangement of Oh How Wondrous?" Or whatever it is that we're singing at the time. And from there is how we became a group. So I kind of fell into the other stuff because it came naturally, and it felt normal. I think I was knee deep in it by the time I looked up and said, I don't want to be an opera singer.
So you already kind of just like when you were in college and you're directing the choir, right? Already, like you're like,
Yeah.
So you kind of had already had these things going, some side hustles that like with some friends and everything, and you go, you know what? I think I got a plan B, right? Like like it's okay if plan A don't work out because I got this plan B that's kind of been working on.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's exactly what it was.
I love that. So like, was there one moment particularly when you you know, when you so as you're creating Zamar, you know, like you said, you would kind of ask some friends here and there to join you, right? Is there? Well, let me ask this: is there like an official Zamar like roster, or is it like sometimes it depends on like who's available for the tour kind of thing? Like, how do you approach that?
So yes, there is an official Zamar roster. In fact, my group members are actually quite territorial, so I have to like sneak new people in. But there is an official Zamar roster. There are about 17 to 20 people on the official Zamar roster. If I bring in new and old, because a lot of times people would move away or go away to school,
Sure.
I'm not going to kick them out of the group just
Right.
because you moved away. So I have some people who are on the roster, but they don't live here anymore. And some people who needed to take breaks because life was lifing
Right.
and other things. And so they come back. In fact, on this particular tour, I think while I'm there, I actually have a member who moved away and he's been doing a lot of his own things in music. And he's going to be joining us on the road for the first time. He hasn't sung with us since like 2015. It's been a long time.
Wow.
So we're super excited to have him back. So I do have an official roster, but I also have some people that I can move around and in and out because they're former students of mine. They are familiar with what we do and how we do it. And it's kind of like a pledging process, I guess I would call
Huh.
it. You know, you're available for the things, and then after a while, I say, all right, add this person to the roster officially.
I like that. I like that. That's cool. So
Yeah.
what so when you first started, like, I guess when was it that you officially were like, all right, we're gonna call this thing like Sounds of Zamar. Like we're gonna make this official. You know what I mean?
It was in 2010, is when we had a big concert, and I said, this is going to be our name. This is now who we are.
How did you come up with the name?
Um, so I have a friend who is stationed in Afghanistan. He's military, he was a preacher. And so he was studying in seminary while he was stationed there. And he started studying the Hebrew language because, of course, that's what they do in seminary.
Uh-huh.
And he told me, he said, you know, I know you're looking for words or whatever. I didn't want us to be, you know, the trumpets in Zion or anything. I
Sure.
didn't want that. I wanted a name that was a little deeper than Gabriel's horn or something. And so he suggested the word Zamar and that it translates in the Bible to sing praises. And I kind of liked it. He also was just explaining to me how sometimes in English we don't have the verbiage to adequately describe words in other languages, and that Zamar also has to do with playing the Psalms. It also can mean to bring to life or to charge the atmosphere or fill the atmosphere with music, all of that kind of stuff. And I liked it. I liked the
Yeah.
word and I liked the translation. And so I said, the sounds of Zamar, which is different. You kind of don't know what you're getting. Like, are they Hebrew? Are they Arabic?
Yeah.
Is this African? Is this
Right.
what is happening here? And that's kind of what I wanted. And so that was how I chose the name.
That's cool,
We
man.
were
I like that
called
story.
Trey and them before that.
You
They
were
were
called
calling
Trey
us
and
Trey
them?
and
I don't know. I
before
kind of
them,
like Trey and them too. I like that's like from down the street.
yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? That's from
Right.
like, you know,
Absolutely.
Trey and them from over yonder.
Truly Southern.
Right? Yeah,
Truly
yeah, you know
Southern.
what I mean? I like that, man. Kind of like Trey and them. Zamar experience is much more. I mean, you know, it's got the flash. It's got the, you know, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Trey and them's good
Lights,
too.
camera, action.
I'm gonna say, welcome to the stage, Trey and them. That's awesome, dude. I like that story. So wait, hang on. Let me back it up because, like, so folks, if you're watching on, you know, on live on YouTube Live or anything like that, you know, you can see Trey. But for those listening, you can't. So Trey, you said that Zamar became official in 2010.
Mhm.
It's 2023 right now, and you are not an old guy. So
I'm older than I look.
so well, but I also know you said something to me in the break about how not old you are. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing math right now. I'm like, dude, you were a young guy when you. I mean, not that you're not a young guy now, but you were like a young buck, like when
Yeah.
you started putting together your group and your singing and everything. Where were you? Probably like early mid-20s.
Yeah, I was like 24.
Wow. That's amazing, man. Put your band together at 24. Y'all still doing it.
Yeah. And still mostly the same people. Mostly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a feat. That takes a lot of work.
I'm grateful.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Get that started at 24. And so like you came out. So I mean, if I'm kind of walking back from there, I mean, you got out of undergrad. It didn't take you long to be like, nah, we're not gonna do an opera and we're gonna do this. And then let's start doing it.
Almost as soon as I got home, I started to get invitations to come sing places and teach my arrangements. I had already taken over the youth group that I was in high school called Creative Impressions. I had become the creative director for that because our director had gone off to school. So I had plenty of places where I could teach my arrangements, where I could grow my knowledge and breadth of choir music and just kind of push myself to be more and more creative. So really right out of undergrad, I started doing it.
Then really cool, man. So like I want to take a second and disconnect for a minute from the Zamar thing and ask you about something that I heard earlier. You know, and then we're gonna go to break in a minute or two, but then after that I want to talk more about the Zamar show you're gonna be doing. But you mentioned earlier that, you know, you've mentioned a couple times that your mom had a lot of influence on your musical styles, right? And what you listened, obviously, as a lot of us, right? Our parents, what our parents listened to, what we heard maybe in church, went to church, whatever, right? These are all things. That's why, hey, parents, if you're listening, that's why it's important, man. The arts are important for your kids, and you know, what are you listening to? Your kids are gonna listen to it. What are you taking them to see? Your kids are gonna go see those things, right? It's good. I mean, it's good. Like think about that because it plants those seeds. So, but you've mentioned, and I know we'll talk about it after the break. So I don't want to spoil it too much. But you mentioned like musical theater as well. So, and you as a performer. So did you have experiences when you were younger as a performer? Like, did you get into musical theater type stuff as well?
Yeah, definitely. In middle school, elementary school, my school always put on musicals for the holidays. So exposed there. Usually I was the starring role or the main singer.
Ah,
And then in high school, I did some things with the Augusta Opera.
wow.
So it was dope.
So we only got a short time left for the break. Real quick, we got 1 minute. Real quick, favorite musical theater role you've played?
Favorite musical theater role I've played. That's
Or one of the
tough.
favorites. One of the favorites. How about one of the favorites? I know it's tough to just pick one.
One of the favorites was from Oklahoma, the main male character. I got to do his
Curly?
stuff in the sampler. Yeah.
Nice.
Just because it's some beautiful music. For real.
Yeah?
Beautiful music.
Rodgers and Hammerstein,
enjoy
right? Roger and Hammerstein? No.
Mhm.
Yes. That's who did Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
That's classic, man. That's classic. I like that. All right, Mr. Curly. Did some Curly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break one more time. And then after break, we're going to have one more section to talk with Trey. And we're going to focus next section about what you're going to experience when you come see the Zamar experience at Cain Center in a couple weeks. Don't touch that dial. Come back. Know the scene.
More Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts. On the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Here is your WSIC.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
No problem.
I think it's going good.
Yeah.
I love it. Do y'all remind me? Y'all bringing a band too, right? You bringing your band with you?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. Full band. It's gonna be everything. So make sure y'all have that drum shield up because my drummer is loud.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say yeah. And our room is tiny, and we've already
Right.
had some things here and there with like bands being too loud. Like we're about to purchase a permanent drum shield anyway, and start
Yes.
forcing like every act that comes with drums to play behind the drum shield. Like it's
We
just
need
getting
the drum shield.
because once the
We
drummer
need it.
gets off, then the guitarist got to turn up. Then this guy can turn up, and then it's like it's way too loud. That's what happens, man. It's the truth, Bill.
It is.
Like,
Especially in gospel, and we're so used to it. But it's loud. Gospel music is loud.
do y'all bring in-ears?
Just-
Do you have an in-ear system for your band or anything?
No, we don't usually use in-ears. I usually just use monitors.
Nice.
I could use in-ears. I'm
No,
not
no,
opposed to
just asking.
I'm not opposed to them. They don't feel like monitors. So even if I did use in-ears, which I do here sometimes at church, I still want monitors as well. It just feels different when you have the monitors there. But no, we use monitors. We usually take the time to get the level straight to make sure everything is fine. But we definitely need that drum shield because he's not even trying to be loud. He just is. He's been playing for me since he was 9.
He just is loud. That's a lot of drummers. They just are loud.
Yeah, they are.
They are just
They
loud. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's I mean, I don't handle that side of things. My tech director and production people will. But if it's in your rider, we'll have it.
I'm sure Todd has been aggravating him, your production person, probably since 3 or 4 months ago, because my director of production is very thorough.
Good.
So I'm sure he's probably been calling
Good.
nonstop.
No, that's good, man. We pride ourselves on wanting to make sure, that we that we treat the artists well and give them what they need, and are easy to work with in that way too. So hopefully that's his experience with my team. I'm sure it is.
About 30 seconds.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Last segment. Finish strong, guys.
Yes, sir.
Visit drumlandscapesupply.com today. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
10
It's
seconds.
Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
All right, Know the Scene. Tuesday afternoon, Know the Scene. Thanks for listening, everybody. By the way, if you are new joining us and haven't listened much before, please know that you can enjoy this show in its entirety afterward. It'll be up on YouTube. The WSIC page will have it there too. You can link it. Or also, go on to whatever podcast format you use, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whichever one, and search Know the Scene WSIC, and then smash that subscribe button. Smash it. That's what they say. That's what they say. Smash that subscribe button. And then not only can you listen to past episodes where we've had the chance to speak with more awesome artists like Trey about their stories and how, what they do as artists and as professionals, right? Because that's what I like too, is highlighting artists that are, professionals. I mean, that's what you are. You are professional artists, man. I think it's important people know that. That's you know what I mean? It's a real profession. It's a real thing. And there are lots of things that you all do behind the scene too, to make yourself prepared to, like you said, things like that vocal rest, I mean, those of us who have been in the industry at some point, like for us, we just, yeah, of course. Right. But for folks that haven't been involved, like they don't think about it. Right. About everything that goes into it. So I love being able to highlight that. So listen to past episodes on our podcast. And then once you subscribe every week, it'll automatically update you with the most recent episodes, so you can make sure you're listening. So all right, well, back here with Trey McLaughlin, we're talking some more about Trey. We're talking about his journey. Trey, I'd like to pivot for a minute now. Right before the break, we talked about Trey doing a lot of musical theater when he was younger, and his favorite role, one of his favorite roles, was Curly in Oklahoma, which is a classic role. I'm surprised. I was kind of surprised that now I just gotta ask, like, have you been in Superstar?
No.
You have not been in JC Superstar?
I haven't, but I would love to play Judas.
I was getting ready to say, with you talking about like your baritone to tenor voice, like
I would
your
kill
experience.
that song.
Oh, bro.
I would kill it. I really, I love JC Superstar. It's definitely
It
a
is.
dope musical.
It was one of the first musicals that really got me into, like, when I was younger. Like, I mean, I grew up, like, with the traditionals, right? Like, yeah, like, my
Yeah,
grandparents, we used to watch the movie musicals, like Singing in the Rain and Sound of Music and all that stuff, and I used to love Gene Kelly. I thought he was the man,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But then I remember when musicals became, quote, unquote, "cool" for me was, like, for some reason, like, middle of high school, one of my friends just turned me on to JC Superstar, and
Hmm.
that opening number, man, Judas comes out, and it's just like,
Yep.
oh man, are you kidding me? It was like rock and roll,
Yeah,
kind of as a musical,
absolutely.
which was
And
like,
that's what they were going to. It changed the era because before then, Rodgers and Hammerstein, that style of musical theater, which if we really want to be honest, is very classical.
yeah,
Like if you're singing Rodgers and Hammerstein anything, or even Sondheim a little bit,
love Sondheim.
if you're singing those things, they require classical technique, especially for the women. Like there are certain sounds you have to make. I feel like JC Superstar and other musicals like Rent
Yeah,
definitely changed the sound of musical theater. Rent is one of my other favorites. I haven't had been able to be in it. I've done excerpts from it,
okay.
but Rent is another one of my favorites. Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, The Lion King, which are all things that you'll actually hear in the
There you
show.
go. There you go. That's what I was getting to. That's what I was exactly what I was getting to. I wanted to see, because I know one of the things I wanted to help the audience out with here is, that's exactly where I was going that direction with that musical theater stuff, man, is tell the audiences that are listening now all right, so as far as they know, they're like a gospel group coming to Cain Center, like, man, I don't, like, I mean, or hey, and they're gonna be like, okay, gospel, I'm a gospel fan, or they're gonna go, ooh, gospel, I don't know. Like, what?
Right.
Tell them what is the Zamar Experience show like?
The Zamar Experience show really is a show. So I hope that people don't think that they're coming to church. I mean, there are going to be some moments where we definitely give you Black church all the way. But most of it is a musical journey through my head and my influences. So you're going to hear Prince, you're going to hear African music, you're going to hear alternative rock music, you're going to hear a little bit of country, you're going to hear musical theater, you're going to hear some of my Afro-Caribbean stuff that's on YouTube, you're going to hear some of my alternative Christian stuff, or CCM is what we would call it, stuff that's on YouTube. It's some of everything. We're dancing, singing, changing clothes 3 or 4 times. So it's lights, camera, action. It's not just a concert,
I
and it's
love that.
not just gospel music.
I love that, man. I love that. That's I'm excited. I'm excited for that too. Yeah, because I think that also helps to kind of break down some barriers, maybe, right?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of people who come to our shows who just came maybe because they're season ticket holders at the hall, or just because somebody else wanted to come or whatever. And they have stayed after to let me know that they didn't know what they were going to get, but they really enjoyed themselves. So we're super excited, and we love crowd participation. So we invite them in to join us. It's like a big musical party.
Yeah, speaking of that, I know you're going to be doing something special for our audiences here. For folks that are coming, once you purchase your ticket, after you purchase your ticket, you're offered the opportunity to
Hmm.
also register for a free workshop with
Yep.
Trey. Where Trey, tell everybody what happens in this workshop.
So typically it's like when I do my YouTube videos where we all sing together, but I'll teach them some music, and then it'll be music from the show, which means there'll be a certain part of the show where I'll actually invite them, if they want, it's no pressure, to come up on the stage and actually sing with us, which
Mm,
is always a dope experience. Because, Black church music is about community. Gospel music is all about community. It's deeply rooted in African tradition, where music is a part of everyday life, and it's not a thing where if you're in a tribe and people are singing, they're not performing for you. They're singing about something that's going on, and it's for the entire community to join in with. And I believe that transcends just African culture. I think in every culture, at the root of it, music is a communal
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah.
all about creating community, not about this person performs and we watch.
Right.
So we're always excited and grateful for crowd participation. I think that's one of our favorite things.
I love that. I love that, man. Yeah. So if you're now about to go and get your ticket to see the Zamar experience, make sure you sign up for that workshop as well. Because I'm also willing to bet if you're musically inclined or have a kid or someone that's musically inclined, have them come and they'll probably even get maybe even be able to get a few tips from Trey, the vocal and music coach as well here or there from an expert like him. So that's awesome, man. I'm excited to hear that about the show and for everyone else to hear that. So it's not, as Trey was saying, this isn't just not that anything's wrong with it, but it's not just that traditional gospel show, right? It's going to go a little bit of everything. It's going to go around, like you said, everything from rock to musical theater stuff, like you said, traditional African
Country
type music. You said like some calypso in there, like country,
Calypso,
like
country music. We got some of everything.
that's gonna be a time.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited.
That's gonna be a time, man. We're excited to have you. What are some things that are coming up next on Zamar's radar, man? What do you guys got anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
We're super excited about going to Mexico. It's actually my first time there. So really excited about that. We're doing a big musical festival there that I will also be doing a workshop there, which means I have to do a little bit of Spanish, and I like languages, so that'll make me
Nice.
happy. French is my thing, but
Oh.
I like languages. So that'll be fun. And then we get to go to Canada in February, which is super huge. I've been overseas several times, but I have not been able to take my entire group. So
Oh.
I think this will be the beginning of us starting to really travel abroad. And I love giving my friends experiences like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. But I love that. Like you said, I mean, you believe music is truly a community experience. So like, do it with your people, and
Yeah.
make sure they're celebrating what you're celebrating,
That's
and
right.
sharing the blessings with everybody,
That's right. That's right.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So down in Augusta, and that's where you're from, right? You said you're from Augusta.
Yes.
What's this like, man? Did you ever, when you were a kid in Augusta growing up, did you ever think you'd be traveling the continent and beyond, performing and singing and getting to take all your best friends with you?
Oh, yeah, I knew. God
Oh.
told me when I was a little kid, he told me that I was going to be doing all of this. Now, he didn't tell me when, so I thought when I turned 16 and it hadn't happened yet, I might as well give it up. But
Right? Because we're all like impatient kids, man. That's that, right?
yeah, but I've always seen this for myself ever since I was a kid, and I do believe this is just beginning.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, hey, congratulations, Trey, on all your successes and hard work coming to fruition. And
Yeah,
we're
thank
going to
you.
welcome you, man. We're looking forward to welcoming you here to Lake Norman, just here this area and our communities. Reminder,
Yeah.
Trey, you can catch Trey McLaughlin, the Sounds of Zamar at Cain Center for the Arts on November 3rd at 8 p.m. I'm sorry, November 4th at 8 p.m., November 5th at 4 p.m. Get your tickets, cainarts.org. And Trey, thank you so much, man. We're looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
The new 105.